Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. Happy 4th of July weekend. I'm Diana. I'm here for our weekly Sunday morning restorative yoga class. So I'll give another moment for people to join. Otherwise, if you're here with me now, good morning. Great to have you. With restorative yoga, if you've never done it before, it's an active relaxation class. So what that means is we'll be holding each pose or each posture for a little bit longer than you're used to in, let's say, a vinyasa class, or if you attend my Friday morning stretch yoga classes. It's a little bit different, it's a little bit slower, but with each pose that we hold for a little bit longer, we'll be doing it with the intention of letting our body, our breath, and just our movement just feel each pose a little bit deeper. So the longer we hold it, the more the pose evolves with your muscles, with your breathing, and vice versa as well. Your breathing will definitely inform how your body responds to each of the poses. And so with that, some props that you'll need today, you'll want to grab that. So I'm just going to point them out so that I can give you a few moments to grab them yourself if you don't have them already with you. I have with me a couple blankets. You can grab a couple blankets or a couple towels, whatever you want, but just something soft but also sturdy so that during our practice, whenever we want to roll one up for a little bit more support or like back bolster or just help us elevate to open something a little bit more, we'll have these handy. So again, if you have a blanket, go ahead and grab that. If you want to grab a blanket and a towel or 2 towels, go ahead and do that. It's nice sometimes to have something right below our head as additional support while we work on another part of our body. So these 2 are the blankets, and let's put them on the side for now. At the same time, I usually expect to have a couple pillows as well. So like I've mentioned before in other classes, these 2 are just the pillows that I have on my bed. Feel free to grab a pillow from the couch, or if it's even a more sturdy cushion from your couch, go ahead and do that. It'll help soften some of the poses or help support and soften some of the poses that we'll do. And then a couple other things, or a couple other items I should add. So I usually like to have a block with me as well, or a block or 2. And if you don't have blocks, no problem. Go ahead and grab either like a sturdy book, a phone book, or just like a big, if you have old encyclopedias, those work really well too. If you have just kind of like some kind of box, go ahead and grab those as well. Good morning, Anne. Great to see you. I was just going over the props that you might want to have nearby this morning for you and for your practice. So I pointed out the 2 blankets, a couple pillows, and I was just going over the blocks. And then the last thing is if you have a stool or a chair, just have that nearby. So we'll be incorporating those. I'll give it another moment so people have a chance to grab any props that they might want. And again, similar to our normal classes, these are all going to be optional, and these are invitations to move through the practice. But again, if anything is painful in a very sharp way, let's back away from that. We don't want to get any injuries, especially coming off of a holiday weekend. We just want to ease our way back into things. And so with that, if you have your props by your side, just keep them nearby, keep them near your mat. If you want for just ease of use, just have them somewhere where it's going to be convenient for you to grab them. And then if you're ready, whenever you're ready, I'll just meet you in a nice seated position first. So finding yourself rooted, however it feels good for you. We start in the seated position. Just start to inhale through the nostril, exhale through the nose. And then we'll just move like this a few times with your own breath. And then with each breath, just notice how the air and the oxygen flows through your body as you're starting to bring awareness. So as you inhale, maybe feeling the chest, feeling the belly. As you exhale, emptying the belly, the ribs, the chest. With the next round of inhale, maybe this time you're also feeling some sensation happening down the arms as well. So maybe just some oxygen coming down the arms, making some space and creating some openness. And then as you exhale, maybe just deepen, and maybe you can lengthen the spine just a little bit in whatever posture you're in. 2 more rounds of your breath at your own pace. Right, gently opening the eyes, bring a little bit more awareness. And so for this first one, for this first pose that we'll do, it'll be a really gentle side stretch. So if you want to grab a block or something to have on your side, so we'll start off on your right side. So you place the block on the left side of you, placing the left hand down. You can work on the different levels if you want. It's just really going to be here to support. And then whenever you're ready, as we sit here, we inhale up the right arm, reach towards the ceiling first, and then ever so gently leaning over to your left side. It's really easy opening here. Again, this block here is meant to support you. If you want to just modify the height a little bit, feel free to do that. Maybe it feels good to come down to the lower level or mid-level. And then wherever it is, just sit here for a moment, allowing yourself to feel the openness of this pose. We'll hold it here for just a few more moments. And again, with each breath, just inviting you to feel how it moves through, and then also how the muscles are responding to the breath. One more round of breath here. All right, and whenever you're ready on your next inhale, we'll bring that arm back up, bring it down to the ground, maybe noticing a little bit of a warm sensation happening. We'll switch the block over to the other side. And again, maybe you want to try the highest level first. See how that feels initially. So again, inhale up your left arm this time. Reach for the ceiling before you exhale and lean over to your right side now. So again, maybe in this pose, you're already feeling you want to come down just a little bit more. Open it just a little bit more. So go ahead and do that. And then just keep it here for a few moments. Noticing yourself move and respond with the breath, and at the same time, with your breath, responding to how the arm and the muscles are feeling this pose as it stays here just a bit longer. Feel it just a little bit more, maybe just a little bit differently too. One more round of breath. All right, and whenever you're ready, next inhale, just bring that arm up. Exhale, coming down to your side. It's a little bit warm on both sides now, so we've warmed up the arms. We're going to switch over. We're going to grab our blocks if you have them, or you want to grab your pillows or whatever cushions, or the towels and the blankets if you want. And we will do a gentle child's pose. So we're just creating a little bit of support for ourselves here. So I just like to put the 2 blankets, or the 2 pillows, because it's a little bit soft, just to have one and it'll stink. But whenever you're ready, so we have these. So what you'll do is put your hands down on the ground. We'll shift up to all fours for just a moment. We'll uncross our feet and then position ourselves in child's pose here. So with the feet, we're sitting on our heels. Knees are open this time. And then as you want, you can adjust the props so they come just a little bit closer to you, closer to the belly, touching just the belly a little bit. And then as you're ready, let's place both hands on each side of your props, your support. Inhale to lengthen, and then as you exhale, just notice yourself deepening and sinking into this pose. So here for now, keeping your head looking over to one side if that feels good for you. And then just noticing your seat bones or your sitting muscles just sink in and sink down to your heels. So we'll hold it here for just a few moments. I'll keep my cues to a minimum so that you can have the moment to allow yourself to kind of melt into this pose.
If you haven't switched sides already, keeping your body where it is, and just turn your head over to the other side so you can feel how the pose expands, maybe sinks down with your face looking in the other direction. So I'm just going to switch my position over so that it's easier to see. But for everyone at home, just stay where you are. And then exhale, and again, sinking in. If you need to readjust your arms or move them in a different position, go ahead and do so. Take a nice inhale. Exhale. On your next inhale, start to press your hands down on the ground to help support you. Come back up. So pressing the hands down, pressing yourself up. Let's move the pillows off to the side. Move the blocks over, but it might be nice just to have the blocks nearby on a mat. So on either side of the mat, go ahead and do that. We'll shift our hips down on the ground. If you have a stool with you or a chair, go ahead and grab that and we'll just place it in front. So I'm just going to shift my chair over, or if you want to use your couch, if you're in the room where there's a couch, go ahead and do that. So with this one, we'll have the chair in front of us and grab either a pillow or a blanket that you have. We'll place that
at the edge of the chair. So I'm just going to show it so that you notice the blanket or the towel is over the edge of that seat or over that stool, whatever's there for you. And then ever so gently, actually, if you want, you can even grab one of your other blankets and put it underneath your hip if you want to elevate and neutralize your pelvis. And then whenever you're ready, we just sit, lengthen our spine, and then ever so gently start to fall forward and place our forehead where the blanket meets the chair. So here's just another way, or one way to relax the forehead, giving a little pressure here. Just to relax the forehead, relax the face muscles here. And so as you're ready, we'll just stay in this pose. Your arms can be by your side, palms can be turned up if that feels good for you. Otherwise, we'll just stay here. So whenever you're ready, I'll meet you in this pose. We'll just stay here together for a few moments. And relaxing the face muscles, relaxing the jaw, softening the neck, and maybe dropping the shoulders down just away, or away from the ears for just a bit. Take a nice breath here. And then exhale as it feels good for you. On your next inhale, turn your palms down to the ground. Inhale your way back up as you press your way back up. Keeping your chair, keeping the stool where it is, we'll start to shift down onto our back. So if we need to move our hips to the side a little bit so we can place our hands down to support us, let's go ahead and do so with this one. So the chair for me is going to be a little bit high. So I'll want to have one of my bolsters or one of my blocks nearby if I need a little bit of a support to match the chair. Otherwise, go ahead and bring ourselves down. So bringing our arms down first, bring the elbows down, bring ourselves into a nice position on our backs. And then I'll demonstrate first what we'll do so that you can modify as you need. But for this part, we'll just keep our legs, bring our legs up. So keep the knees bent. You can bring them just to level with the chair, with your stool. If it's a little too high for you, go ahead and grab your block or even
that blanket that you had. Like you can even remove that blanket from the chair if the chair is already too high. You can roll that blanket up below you and just place it underneath your hips to give you that elevated support if that feels good. If that's not enough, you can always add, the block or switch it for the block, whatever feels good for you. This one here, just relaxing the hips, allowing the legs to get a little bit of this restorative stretch as well. And so for me, just now, I noticed the block was a little bit too hard, so I'm just using the blanket as that support. And so whenever you're ready, I'll meet you here in this pose. Again, just as you breathe, allow yourself to sink into this. Yogi's choice with the arms. If you want to keep it on top of your thighs, go ahead and do that. If you want to just open them up, palms up towards the sky, go ahead and do that. And then notice how this might be an opportunity to just open the chest as well, or just notice as you're breathing through how it's creating just a little bit of opening here. Option here, if you want to keep your arms where they are, go ahead. Second option might be to bring the arms up overhead. Feeling yourself lengthen the upper body while you're still on the ground. And then third option, if you want, is just bending at the elbows. Maybe having the hands reach for opposite elbows to help open the upper arms, the bottom sides of the upper arms. Whatever feels good for you. Just stay here for a couple more moments. All right, take a nice inhale. Exhale. Then on your next inhale, let's bring the arms back to our sides. Placing our hands down on the ground. Maybe that is support us to bring our feet down on the ground. Removing them from the chair or from the stool. And then here, pressing the hand, rolling over to one side, pressing the hands down on the mat. So you come back for a seated position for just a moment. Moving the chair out of your way now, maybe back on your mat. Moving any other props that were there. We'll shift down onto our backs completely. So it'll be nice to have a block nearby if you have that. And again, a blanket or a towel to support you. So first, keeping one of them at the top of your mat, here to support your head if you want a little bit of support. Otherwise, let's lay down again, having a block nearby and having the other blanket or towel nearby will be good. Placing your hands back on the mat, bend the elbows and help you come on down to your back completely. And with the block or with the towel that you have, this time inserting. Actually, let's bend the knees, placing the feet on the ground first. Giving a little bit of support. Maybe you want to open up your feet, maybe hips width apart so that your knees can come together. Just kind of knock together and support here. And then as you inhale, let's bring up the hips. And again, we'll bring that towel just below, where it wasn't even a similar spot earlier, but this time feeling it differently because we don't have our shins and our feet elevated, but rather they're just there with us. Holding this position where the knees are knocked together, the knees are coming together, your feet are planted on the ground, just maybe a little bit more than a hip width apart. And here, just opening an option, an invitation here with this pose to open up the back a little bit, the ridge, just feeling a little bit, the hips, you're sinking it in, allowing the pressure or anything in the back, any tenseness to just release itself gradually with this pose. And then arms similar, you can either have them open up to your side if you want, or just place them on top of your hips, whatever feels good for you. And then whenever you're ready, we'll meet here for a few moments.
Your lower body how it is. If you want to take a moment to bring your arms maybe wider, maybe bring them up overhead. Go ahead and do that. And sink back in and see how the pose feels for you this time. Take a nice inhale. Exhale. And on your next inhale, let's bring the arms down by our sides. We'll press down into our feet so that we can elevate our hips just a little bit. Bringing the towel off, bringing our backs back down, our hips back down on the mat. And this time, let's bring our feet together with the block nearby or the towel nearby. Maybe you want to put one on each side. As we take this moment to open up our knees, using our hands to bring our knees down by our sides, open up to butterfly here. So keeping the upper body on the blanket or on your mat, just opening the knees as they feel all right. And then if you want, adding a block below for some support if you want to, or maybe the blanket, the towel. You can either have, if it's a wide enough towel, you can even open it up. So you can roll it. There's a little bit of support. And then just put it underneath the knees. Maybe lift up the legs just a little bit. Put it underneath where the knees will fall when they open up. So you have a little bit of support where your knees are under, like supporting underneath your knees. They just splay open just a little bit. And then whenever you're ready, I'll meet you in this pose. So keeping your hands either on top of your thighs, if that feels good for you, or keeping your hands open, your palms open, right below where your legs fall. Yogi's choice.
Feels good. Keep your legs, keeping your knees where they are. Option to bring out the arms a little bit wider if that feels better. If that feels good for you, giving it another experience. And again, if you want, maybe bringing the hands or the arms up overhead as well to extend. Another option would be to bend at the elbows and have hands reach for opposite elbows. So again, gentle pose, restorative pose. So whatever arm variation feels good for you. I'll meet you there. Taking a deep breath, inhale. Exhale. On your next inhale, bring the arms back down to your sides. Let's bring the hands underneath the knees this time. And then whenever you're ready with your breaths, bring the knees to close here, bring the feet back down, pressing them on the ground. And then if you have your blanket or the towel nearby, let's bring it over to your right side first. So just keeping it handy. It'll be just on right parallel to your right leg. Let's extend that right leg down on the ground. And let's inhale and hug our left knee into our chest, giving it a nice little squeeze here. And then whenever you're ready, we'll bring our left arm out to the side, or left to the right, out to the left side. With our right hand, we'll guide our left knee over to our right side for gentle spinal twist. So with this one, you might want to shift your hip a little bit so you're not resting on your hip, but rather when you come over to your right side, your left knee is resting on top of that towel or that blanket or maybe that block. If you need a little bit more elevation here, you can either fold that blanket, giving it a little bit more support so that when you look at your left thigh and your left leg, it's parallel to the floor rather than completely angled towards the floor. So finding whatever prop or whatever variation helps support that. And then if your towel is long enough, having it extend so that the leg is both supported from the ankle to the knee, and that way it's parallel to the ground. If you have two items or two props to do that for you, great. Just go ahead and get those set up. So again, I'm just rolling up my step to show what that looks like. So here I've got my towel rolled up or the blanket rolled up. I have a block down towards the ankle so that when I'm lying down, when I twist over to my right side, my left knee is going to be parallel to the ground almost, and then that that left ankle is also supported and elevated just a little bit so that as much as possible I'm keeping the line there. All right, and we'll keep it here for just a few moments together. So whenever you're ready, I'll meet you here. this feels good for you, go ahead and stay here. Another variation, keeping your legs where they are, is to, as you inhale, bring up your left arm so that it extends overhead. So we're moving kind of like a clock arm, just moving from the side where it was on the left side. We inhale that up, bring that arm parallel to our left ear. Then if that feels good, we'll complete that circle with our arm so that we bring the left arm over to meet the right hand on the right side. So here we're lying on our side, lying on our right side. Our hands are meeting, or maybe even they're just palm to palm. And again, noticing if you're too much on your right hip, maybe you need to adjust that for you a little bit so you can sink into that just a little bit more. And then we'll stay here for a few minutes. Mm-hmm. Take a nice breath in. Exhale and let it out. On your next inhale, start to bring your left hand down. So completing that circle, bring it down to that left knee, maybe moving it back, shifting it so that your chest starts to open up again. And then when your left hand or left arm is extended to the left side, using your right hand to help bring your left knee off the ground, you'll shift back onto your back. Coming down, extending that left leg back straight. And then taking a moment to move any props that you had on one side over to the other side so you can be supported as well. So this time bringing the block and maybe that blanket or towel over to the left side. And then whenever you're ready, we'll set up again. So I'm just gonna switch over my place. You're staying where you are on your mat. I'm just switching over on the other side so it's easier to see. Yeah, with your props set up for you to twist over to your left side. Let's go ahead and start first by being on our backs. Take a moment here. Let's extend that right leg down and then hug in our left leg. So taking a moment here, giving a nice hug as we bring it towards the chest. And whenever you're ready, let's extend that right arm out to the side. And restorative gentle movement here. So pretty easy, just responding to how the body tells us to respond. With the right hand, we'll guide our left leg over and we twist over to our left side. So again, maybe we need to reposition the hip just a little to make it a little bit more comfortable. The right hand or the right arm extended just a little bit. It's fine if the shoulder comes off the ground this time. Okay, we're just really trying to melt into this pose, melt into the stretch on this side. And then whenever you're ready, I'll meet you here again with your left hand. You can either keep it on top of that left knee if that felt good for you, or go ahead and just extend that left arm out. So just right there on the left side, and invitation to Soften your gaze or even keep the eyes closed for this. And if this feels good, stay where you are. If you want another option, go ahead and inhale, and then keeping your lower body, keeping your legs where they are, just inhale with the right arm, bringing it parallel to the right ear, and just keeping that extended there for a few moments. Take a nice breath. Exhale. Again, keeping the lower body where it is. This time, bringing the right hand back down for full rotation here. So bringing the right hand over to meet your left hand. Maybe you need to shift your hip back a little bit so you're not directly on that left hip. And then just keeping it here for a few moments. So noticing how it feels on this side with the spinal rotation as both hands are on our left side. Take a nice deep breath. Exhale. On your next inhale, as you're ready, let's bring that right hand back down towards our legs. And this time we bring it back out to open. Gently bringing our left hand Meet our right knee as we help guide that back up. We shift back onto our backs. Give ourselves a nice hug here. Hug in the right knee. Hug in the left knee. Wrap our arms around. Giving yourself a nice hug and maybe sway side to side. Gentle back massage happening here. And then whenever you're ready, we extend the legs out for just a little bit. Extend them long. Pedal out the feet. Maybe wiggle the toes. Inhale the arms up above our heads. Full body stretch here. Wiggle the fingers. Maybe rotate the wrists. Nice, nice, nice little stretch here. Then whenever you're ready, we'll roll over to one side. First, taking a moment, check in, see how everything's feeling. And then whenever you're ready, let's place our hands down on the mat. We'll use that as we inhale, energetically support ourselves as we come back up. So maybe reverse log roll here, bending the elbows, helping us to come back into a nice seated position here. If you want to grab a blanket or a towel or some kind of bolster again to put beneath your pelvis, bring it up to just a neutral position. Go ahead and do that. And then whenever you're ready, I will meet you in this seated pose, just like we started. An option to sit tall. Maybe notice that the ribs are stacked on top of the hips, and then the shoulders are stacked with the ribs on top of the hips, lengthening the spine here. And then yogi's choice with your arms either right beside you, palms turned up, or maybe palms turned down for a little bit of grounding. Whatever you need as we take a few breaths on our own, checking in with ourselves here. And then just taking a gentle scan and seeing how everything feels. And on the next inhale, take a full breath in, exhale through the mouth. On your inhale, let's bring up the arms by our sides. Reach, palms touch. Exhale, coming on down for gentle prayer. We'll do it one more time together. Inhale the arms, palms to touch. Exhale, coming on down. Thumb grazes chest ever so gently. Take one moment here to give yourself this gratitude. Making that time in your day, in your morning, to start off with the practice that you need this morning. Okay, and last one together. Let's inhale the arms together. Deep breath in, palms touch. Exhale with the breath coming on down. Thumb grazes the chest, and this time let's tilt the chin towards the chest for just a little bit. Again, taking a moment, letting things settle in. And for this, my gratitude to you for allowing me to share in your practice this morning. May the light in me see the light in you. Namaste. Have a really great Sunday, everyone. Good to see you. Enjoy the rest of your July 4th weekend. Just a reminder, I teach on Friday mornings. It's a stretch yoga class from 8:30 to 9:30. And then here we are, Sunday mornings as well, from 9 to 10, Restorative Yoga. So thanks again for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I look forward to seeing you at the next class. Thanks so much, and take care, everyone.